he gets apprehended by the archers, which is really, that's a big bummer.
I was a little bit like, I don't know if I believe this, him being taken down by arrows. But I guess with a
Yeah.
net, like he was captured in a net before, right? With the pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess a net is like his worst enemy.
What,
That's,
yeah.
they
Well, I mean,
got him there.
I get that the whole thing is they're like immobilizing his limbs so that he can't bend, and like he
Mm.
gets overwhelmed super quickly in it, and like there's a lot of them, so like I guess I get it, but then some of the stuff we see him do next episode, I'm like, you could have probably,
Uh-huh.
you could have
Okay.
probably done something. Like,
Yeah. I'll
you
believe
could
it for
have.
the plot.
Yeah. Like, all right, I guess so. Yeah, he gets
Yeah.
captured. He wakes up in the Fire Nation prison. We see both of his hands are chained to pillars, his feet are chained. um and we don't know, he can't do anything now, he's just stuck. Zhao comes in and starts mocking him, gets some great villain dialogue.
Oh my God, this is
um
so like, I was like, he's going for it. He was like, don't you miss your people? And how does it feel to be the only one left? I was like, shit, oh my God.
yeah,
He's
he's
going
mean, he's
for the jugular. Like, oh my
yeah.
God.
He's real mean right here, and he's like, "Don't worry, like I'm not gonna kill you like them." Because I also love this point, and like it is really smart. And he's like, "If we just kill you, you'll just reincarnate, and then we have to find
In the
you again."
cycle, yeah.
Like he's like, "That would be dumb." So yeah, you'll be alive still. Like we're just gonna keep you prisoner forever. I'm like,
He was like,
oh,
we'll keep you alive, barely. I was like, oh my
that's a
God.
big bummer. Like, come on. And then of
For
course
a
he's
kid
like,
show,
"There's."
I was like, they're going hard with that.
Yeah, and then he's like, "There's no way to escape, and no one is coming to save you," which obviously means that someone's coming to save him.
Which obviously we all know how TV works.
We love foreshadowing, love to see it. So we do that. We get back to Sokka and Katara. They're delirious. Momo is
Mhm.
bringing them dead rats at this point, and she's like, "No, we need water. Thanks,
Water,
though."
water.
And they're like, "What is taking Aang so long?" It's like, "Oh, your boy's been captured, actually." Um, so we get back to Aang and the camera panning to the forest outside, and we see the blue spirit again hitting the
Mhm.
bushes, which I love the zoom ins here. We just get like the
It's so
cut zooms,
good.
like they're just like
Yeah.
further and then closer, and
It's
I'm like,
so
oh,
ominous
yeah,
and
it's great.
scary. It's honestly, I'm like chilling for a kid show. I was like, that's really good.
Yeah,
Like, and
it's
the
amazing.
music too, the music cue, like the dun, dun,
Done.
dun. I was like,
Yeah,
ooh.
they crush it there. Honestly, great setup, direction, all of it is really good. So we get that, and then we get the blue spirit infiltrating the prison. He gets like under the cart, and then
Mhm.
around, and then he sneaks around the tower, gets into the thing.
Oh, I
Zhao
love
comes
how
out.
too, there's a small thing when he's like under the cart and they pan over and they're about to check under. And then as soon as they pan over, he's gone. It's a
Mhm.
small trope, but I love that in movies. It's
Oh
so random.
yeah,
Every time
where
that
you're like,
pops up,
oh,
I'm like, yeah.
he's
Like,
under
oh, they're
there, and
gonna
then
find him, and then they pan back and he's gone. And you're like, where did he go?
it just always works. It's just
It
like
always
there's a reason
works.
it's a
I'll eat
trope.
it up.
Like it's
Yeah.
good. So yeah, we get that. We get him infiltrating, and then as he's infiltrating, we get Zhao speaking to the army like he's Hitler. um,
It was
this
very
is
Hitler-like. I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
this whole thing is very not subtle. In case you didn't know that the Fire Nation were the bad guys here,
We're the bad
like,
guys. Yeah. Where they took
yeah,
inspiration from.
he's like, we've got the Avatar, like we've won. Sozin's Comet is coming this year again. Like we'll break through Bossing
Hmm.
Say.
I do
All
like
of
how
the
they're
good.
bringing that back in too. They're like, hey, by
Yeah,
the
it's a
way,
good.
there is a long
Rem-
game in this
yeah, it's a good
series.
reminder of like where we're at time wise, and he's like, yeah, like this is stuff's happening, and it's
Hmm.
important. So yeah, we get the big villain speech while the blue spirit is infiltrating. I love that, and we cut back to Aang inside, and he's imprisoned, and we get the frogs defrosting, and they start to jump out. I love. I don't know if you noticed this, but like they crawl differently depending on which parts of them
Part
have
of them is
defrosted.
defrosted.
Like,
I made a comment that they crawl kind of zombie-like, and they're
yeah, they
like,
do.
when their like legs don't work and they just crawl with their
With
hands.
the
I
front,
love
yeah, like there
that.
was a couple, like one where his front legs were defrosted and his back weren't, and he's crawling like that, and another one his back legs were defrosted and his front weren't, and so he's like scooting forward with his back legs, and then
There's
like
like
some of
one
them are
with like
like
only one
the right.
hand, and I was like, it's kind of scary. There's
It's
a lot of
tough.
like creepy elements in this episode, and I really like it.
Yeah,
You mentioned before it kind of takes after horror movies, and they use a
yeah,
lot of horror movie tactics in it. And I was like, it's cool.
yeah, and I mean
It
like
works
even
really
with
well for
the
this.
the blue spirit like infiltrating the guards around the corners and stuff. Like you have the one guard go around the corner and like you don't see him get taken out,
Yes.
and then you like round the corner and he's like hanging front, like, which obviously is not around the neck because that would be a lot for a kid's show, but like
That's
he's still
yeah.
like he's like he's dead. It's still the
They're
same
keeping it
vibe though.
PG. Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, like that's great. We get him doing that. He uses water to get I also like that he does not use firebending the whole
At
time because
all.
he doesn't
Yeah.
want them to know obviously that he's a firebender. And
Hmm.
also at this point, the audience, if you're watching this for the first time, don't know that it's Zuko. So like
Yeah.
it's trying to keep that mystique. But like bro goes hard with his swords, like his two,
He's
which also
so good with them.
his sword is crazy because it's like one but two. I don't know. I know that's
It's
an
one
actual
but two.
weapon.
It's
Yeah.
actually I put it in our notes. It's a they're Dao swords,
Okay.
Chinese Dao swords.
Yeah, I wasn't
Um,
sure of the name. They're sick though. They are
they are so set. Where did they're yeah Chinese Dao swords, or they're also called broadswords.
interesting.
And then also the mask that he wears is based on Chinese Nuo masks. In case you
Very
didn't
cool.
know.
Very there's a lot of really cool shots, specifically like close-ups of the mask throughout the episode that
Yeah,
just looks so good. Like it's such a cool
it's
design.
beautiful. I love it.
Um, it's incredible. I see the notes now about the swords. I literally was like 2 lines away.
Yeah,
I
if
was
you read, if you read my notes,
if I could
thanks,
read, you
Alex.
know.
If you could read,
Yeah.
thanks.
But yeah, so we get the blue spirit coming in there and rescuing Aang, which is cool. He doesn't speak or say anything to him because obviously as soon as he speaks, we would know that it's Zuko because he has a
Yep.
very distinct voice.
Yes.
So he's rescuing him and they're starting to leave. We cut back to Sokka and Katara, who are completely delirious, and I love
I
that
love it.
Momo has just brought them treasures. Like he's brought
Treasures anything and
and
everything. Like he
it's
understood the direction of go get us something, but he didn't
just
understand
completely
what
missed.
water is.
Yeah, missed
Yeah.
the point, just bringing them everything else, um, which is so fun. I like that they just keep cutting back to that for like just the slight comedic relief, and also like, hey, this is what these
Yes.
guys are doing.
Like they're
We
still
get
here.
yeah, they're still waiting. They're like, where is Aang?
Mhm.
Like, come on, man, hurry up. And then we come back to Aang, who's literally trying to escape from prison. Like,
Yeah, he's like literally he's on a whole side quest.
so we're back to the prison break and we get just a really cool sequence. Well, one, we get Zhao like asking his assistant to write letters to the Fire Lord of his
I love
accomplishments,
that little bit.
which is so fun. Yeah, it's just such a like egotistical, like narcissist. Like
Yeah, he's like,
he's
now
like, oh
write
yeah.
to everybody that how great I am, and
Yeah,
I'm
he's
gonna
like,
send a letter to the Fire Lord, and
make sure he knows I'm awesome. And then they get there and the yeah, we find out that they're gone, which is great. And he's like, the I like the assistant being like, oh, should I hold off on
do you
sending
want me
this
to still
then?
do this? He's like, obviously,
It's
like
so funny.
such a
Um,
Jason Isaacs villain. I love it.
yeah, so we get them fighting out together, and this part is like, it's just a great action sequence, like
It's
for
so good. They work
a
so
big,
well together.
yeah, like for a big chunk of just the rest of the episode is pretty much like them fighting out and getting through here. There's a lot of really cool choreography here, and just like
Hmm.
them double teaming all the Fire Nation guards and like trying to get out. And yeah, it's great. Like I love the bamboo sticks trying to like climb. Though I like the way that they use the soldiers use the bamboo sticks to like get up onto the walls.
Yes, they
It's
like
super interesting.
they push it up against the wall, and the guy on the front like walks up the wall with
Yeah,
it.
which is wild.
I wonder
It's
actually
in
if that's historically accurate, if that's something that was actually used. I
yeah,
don't know if that could work physics wise, but
yeah, it's wild though.
I
So
gotta look
like
that. I gotta look that up.
tons of really cool choreography and stuff there. And then they're trapped essentially, but they mentioned they need the avatar alive. So the blue spirit is like, all right, well, I'll kill him if you don't let us go.
That was a
And
great
so,
idea. Love that.
yeah, Zhao's like, all right, like open the gate, let him through. And then because he's going to use one of the Yu Yang archer,
Hmm.
Yu Yang, Yu Yang,
Yuyan. Yuyan.
Yu Yan, one of their archers to take him out. And so we get them being far away, and then an arrow hitting the blue spirit's mask and knocking him out.
Hmm.
And that's when
So
Aang
sick.
sees that it's Zuko because he can see the scar, and then he takes the mask off and
Hmm.
like fully sees that it's
Such a good
Zuko.
reveal. The first
Yeah,
time I feel like seeing that, it's so mind blowing and such a good reveal too. I love the way that they do it. I-
yeah,
And Aang's reaction and his decision to be like, do I leave him? Do I help him? Because if I leave him like he's the villain, obviously he's after me, but It's not in
Yeah,
his
you can
moral
really
code to leave someone.
yeah, you can really he's like he just saved me. You can really see and feel the
Yeah.
like internal battle and like indecision there. And so he does get him, he leaves, and then we get to the scene after that, which we'll talk about later because there's a lot in that we want to get to
Such a
in one
good
of our
little
later
scene.
segments. But we have Zuko and Aang, because Aang waits for Zuko to wake up before he ends up having to leave because Zuko goes to attack him. Um, but so we
Hmm.
get that, we get them leaving each other and being departed again. Aang gets back to Katara and Sokka with the frogs
Hmm.
and gives them that as the medicine. Zuko gets back to his ship and is all pissy. He's very moody. He's like,
Very moody.
I'm going to bed, and it's like in the middle of the day.
Hey, Aspect listener. Enjoying the show?
Then be sure to subscribe here on The Aspect so you never miss an episode.
And check out more episodes and clips on our playlist here.
Thanks so much for watching, and
Lameo Hotman.